I stood there, scanning the reception hall, searching for my name on the seating chart. My sister Kate's wedding was beautiful, everything perfectly arranged, every detail thought through. Except one. There was no seat for me. When I found Kate, she barely looked up from greeting guests. "Oh, Michelle, just squeeze in somewhere." We had to make cuts. Cuts. At her own sister's expense. My mom appeared beside her. "Don't make a scene, Michelle. Kate's been so stressed. Just find a spot in the back." That's when something inside me shifted. Not broke, shifted. Like a bone setting itself after years of being out of place. Before we continue, if you've ever felt invisible in your own family, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Because what happened next changed everything, and you're going to want to hear this, ****. My name is Michelle, and I grew up in what looked like a normal family in Sacramento. Mom Paula, Dad Walter, my older sister Kate, and me. From the outside, we were fine. Holiday cards, family dinners, matching sweaters at Christmas. But inside our house, there was an invisible hierarchy. An unspoken rule that shaped every interaction, every decision, every moment of my childhood. Kate was the sun. I was the moon, only visible when she allowed it, only valued for reflecting her light. It wasn't dramatic. There were no Cinderella moments, no locked attics or evil stepmother monologues. It was quieter than that. More insidious. When Kate turned 16, she got a car. A used Honda Civic with a bow on it, parked in the driveway on her birthday morning. When I turned 16, I got a card with a $100 bill and a speech about responsibility and earning things yourself. When Kate struggled with calculus, Dad hired a tutor named Andrew who came 3 times a week. When I struggled with chemistry, Mom said, "You're smart, Michelle. You'll figure it out." When Kate made the volleyball team, the whole family rearranged schedules to attend every game. When I made the debate team and reached state finals, Kate had a college visit that same weekend. "We can't be in 2 places at once," Mom said, choosing one place. Always the same place. Kate's college was fully funded. I worked 3 jobs and graduated with $40,000 in loans. When Kate got engaged to Egan, a software engineer she'd met at her company, the family group chat exploded. Daily updates. Venue options. Color schemes. Dress fittings. A running commentary that lasted 8 months. When I got my first promotion to senior analyst, making more money than I'd ever imagined possible, Mom mentioned it once at dinner. "That's nice, honey," she said, then turned back to Kate. "Now, about the bridesmaids' dresses." By the time Kate's wedding arrived, I knew my place. I'd known it for years. I was the supporting character in the story of Kate's life. The reliable one. The independent one. The one who didn't need as much because I'd learned not to ask. But knowing something and hearing it stated plainly are 2 different things. The wedding was at a vineyard in Napa. 300 guests. A string quartet. Flowers that cost more than my monthly rent. I drove up alone. My boyfriend Henry couldn't get the time off work, which was fine. I texted Kate to let her know I'd be coming solo. "K," she replied. Just the letter K. That should have been my first sign. The ceremony was beautiful. Kate looked stunning in a lace gown that probably cost $10,000. Egan cried when he saw her. Mom cried in the front row. Dad walked her down the aisle with pride radiating from every step. I sat in the 5th row, between Aunt Emerald and a cousin I'd met twice. At the reception, I looked for my name. The seating chart was an elaborate calligraphy display, names arranged alphabetically under table numbers. I found the M section. Martinez, Elena. Matheson, Patrick. Morrison, Bonnie. No Michelle Valdez. I checked every table. Twice. Nothing. That's when I found Kate, surrounded by her bridesmaids, her sorority sisters, her work friends, her yoga instructor. Women who'd known her for 5 years or less. "Kate, I can't find my seat." She glanced at her maid of honor, a woman named Pearson, then back at me. "Oh. Right. We had to make some last-minute adjustments for Egan's family. Can you just squeeze in somewhere?" "Squeeze in?" "Kate, I'm your sister. And I've been planning this wedding for 8 months, Michelle. Don't make this difficult." Mom appeared like she'd been summoned. "What's wrong?" "There's no seat for me." Mom's face did something complicated. A flicker of recognition, maybe guilt, quickly smoothed into practiced neutrality. "I'm sure it's just an oversight. Kate's been so stressed." "An oversight? How do you accidentally forget your own sister?" "Michelle." Mom's voice dropped to that tone. "The one that meant you're embarrassing us. This is Kate's day. Don't make a scene." I looked at my sister. My mom. The bridesmaids watching with polite discomfort. "You know what? You're right. This is Kate's day." I turned and walked toward the parking lot. Mom followed. "Michelle, where are you going?" "Home." "You can't leave." "What will people think?" And there it was. The thing that mattered. What people would think. Not how I felt. Not that her daughter, her youngest daughter, had been literally erased from her oldest daughter's wedding. "Tell them I had an emergency," I said, unlocking my car. "Don't be dramatic." I paused, hand on the door. "I'm not being dramatic, Mom. I'm being absent. Just like you wanted." Halfway through this story, and I need to know, are you Team Michelle or Team Family? Drop a comment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Trust me, you'll want to see how this ends, asterisk asterisk. I drove home in my bridesmaid dress. Yes, I was a bridesmaid, just apparently not important enough to have an actual seat, and waited for the calls. They came 3 hours later. "Kate, Mom said you left." "Really mature, Michelle." I didn't respond. "Mom, your sister is very hurt that you abandoned her wedding." I blocked the number. Temporarily. I needed space to think. What I thought about, sitting alone in my apartment that night, was every moment I'd swallowed my feelings to keep the peace. Every time I'd made myself smaller to make room for Kate. Every achievement I'd downplayed, every need I'd suppressed, every bit of myself I'd compressed into the margins of their lives. The next morning, I unblocked Mom and typed, "When you're ready to apologize, I'm ready to listen. Until then, I need space." Apologize for what? You're the one who left. I didn't respond. 3 days later, Dad called. Walter Valdez was not a man who apologized. He was a man who smoothed things over, found practical solutions, mediated without taking sides. "Your mother's upset," he said. "I'm upset too. It was a misunderstanding about the seating." "No, Dad. It was a statement about my worth." Silence. "Then, you've always been more sensitive than Kate." "I've always been more invisible than Kate." "There's a difference." He sighed. "What do you want from us, Michelle?" It was a genuine question. He really didn't know. "I want to matter," I said. "Not as much as Kate. Just, at all." More silence. "Then, you matter." "Then why didn't I have a seat at my own sister's wedding?" No answer. 2 weeks later, Kate texted, "I'm sorry about the seating thing. It was an oversight." "An oversight you didn't notice until I left?" "I was busy with the wedding." "Too busy to notice your sister wasn't seated?" "You're really going to hold this against me forever?" And there it was again. The reframing. Making my hurt about my pettiness, not their negligence. I'm not holding anything against you, Kate. I'm just finally letting go. The months that followed were quiet. I stopped initiating contact. Stopped checking the family group chat. Stopped attending Sunday dinners. At first, nobody noticed. Or if they did, nobody said anything. Then Mom's birthday came. I sent flowers and a card. Didn't attend the dinner. Mom called. Why didn't you come? I wasn't sure I'd have a seat. That's petty, Michelle. That's honest, Mom. Thanksgiving arrived. The first one I'd missed in 32 years. I spent it with Henry and his family in Portland. His mother Bonnie made turkey and cornbread stuffing and asked about my work. She remembered that I'd gotten promoted. She asked follow-up questions. It felt strange, being remembered. The calls increased. Dad. Mom. Even Kate. You're really going to split up the family over a seating chart? Kate asked. I'm not splitting anything. I'm just not pretending anymore. Pretending what? That I matter to you as much as you matter to me. That's not fair. Neither is being forgotten at your wedding. Christmas came. I sent gifts. Didn't attend dinner. Mom showed up at my apartment 2 days after New Year's. Unannounced. Standing in my hallway with red eyes and that expression that meant she was about to say something difficult. Can we talk? I let her in. She sat on my couch, hands folded in her lap. Your father thinks I should apologize. Do you think you should apologize? Long pause. I think things got out of hand at the wedding. That's not an apology, Mom. That's a passive observation. Her face hardened. What do you want from me, Michelle? Kate made a mistake. She forgot to add you to the seating chart. It happens. It happens to people who don't matter enough to remember. That's not true. Then why didn't anyone notice until I left? 300 people at that wedding, and not one of you realized I was missing. She had no answer for that. I love you, Mom. But I can't keep loving people who only notice me when I'm gone. She stood. You're being selfish. I'm being self-preserving. There's a difference. She left. The door closed quietly, which somehow felt worse than slamming. 6 months passed. Spring turned to summer. I got another promotion. Henry and I moved in together. I started therapy with a woman named Elena who specialized in family systems. They're not going to change, she told me in one session. The question is whether you can accept them as they are without sacrificing yourself. I thought about that for weeks. The answer was, I didn't know yet. Then Kate got pregnant. The family group chat, which I'd muted but not left, exploded with congratulations. Photos of ultrasounds. Speculation about gender. Mom already shopping for cribs. I felt nothing. Not joy. Not resentment. Just a distant acknowledgement that something was happening in their lives that didn't require my participation. Kate texted me directly, "Did you see? You're going to be an aunt." "Congratulations," I replied. "That's it? What do you want me to say, Kate?" "I want you to be happy for me." "I am happy for you. I'm just not performing happiness to make you comfortable." "When did you become so cold? When did you notice I existed?" She didn't respond. 3 weeks later, Mom called. "Kate wants you at the baby shower." Does she want me there, or does she want to not be judged for not inviting me? Mom was quiet. Then, does it matter? Yes. Why? Because I'm tired of being an obligation, Mom. I'd rather be absent than obligatory. You're my daughter, Michelle. You'll never be obligatory. Then why does it feel like I have to earn my place in this family every single day? Silence. Long, heavy silence. Then Mom said something that changed everything. I don't know how to fix this. Not you're wrong. Not you're overreacting. Just honesty. Helpless, uncertain honesty. I don't either, I said. But I know I can't keep trying alone. We're almost at the end, and I promise this resolution is worth it. But first, comment below, have you ever had to set boundaries with family? How did it go? And hit subscribe because stories like this don't end where you think, ***. The baby shower happened without me. I sent a gift, a handmade quilt from a local artist and a savings bond. Kate texted, "Thank you for the gift. It's beautiful." You're welcome. I wish you'd been there. I thought about that for a long time before responding. I wish I'd been wanted there. There's a difference. She didn't text back for 3 days. Then, can we talk? In person? We met at a coffee shop in Davis, halfway between Sacramento and my apartment. Neutral territory. Kate looked tired. Pregnant and glowing, the way people say, but tired underneath. She ordered decaf. I ordered black coffee. I don't know how to fix us, she said. Neither do I. Mom says you're punishing us. I'm protecting myself. That's not the same thing. She stirred her coffee, watching the cream swirl. I didn't realize. I mean, I knew you left the wedding, but I didn't understand why it mattered so much. Because it wasn't about the seat, Kate. It was about 32 years of being the afterthought. I never thought of you as an afterthought. That's the problem. You didn't think of me at all. She flinched. Good. Let it land. I'm sorry, she said finally. For the wedding. For everything. What's everything? I don't know. Whatever I did that made you hate me. I don't hate you, Kate. I'm just tired of disappearing in your shadow. I didn't ask you to disappear. You didn't have to. Everyone else did it for you. We sat in silence. Outside, people walked past. Normal people doing normal things, unaware that inside this coffee shop, 2 sisters were trying to decide if they could still be sisters. Do you want to meet the baby? Kate asked. When she's born? Is there going to be a seat for me in her life? Kate's eyes filled with tears. Yes. Then yes. It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't reconciliation. It was possibility. A small opening in a door that had been closed for months. We didn't hug when we left. But we didn't not hug either. We just left. Together but separate. The way we'd always been, but now with honesty instead of pretense. Kate's daughter was born on a Tuesday in October. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. They named her Emerald, after our aunt. I visited the hospital the next day. Brought flowers and a stuffed elephant and my heart in my hands, uncertain of its welcome. Mom was there. Dad. Egan's parents, Howard and Bonnie Pearson. The room felt crowded. When I walked in, everyone got quiet. That uncomfortable silence that happens when the estranged family member arrives. Kate was in the bed, holding Emerald. She looked up. Michelle. Hi. Come meet your niece. I approached slowly. The baby was tiny. Red-faced and scrunched, impossibly small. She's beautiful, I said, because she was, and because I meant it. Kate adjusted the baby in her arms. Do you want to hold her? Are you sure? Yes. She handed Emerald to me. The baby weighed nothing and everything. A whole person, brand new, unaware of family dynamics and wedding seating charts and years of accumulated hurt. Hi, Emerald, I whispered. I'm your Aunt Michelle. Mom was crying. Dad looked uncomfortable, the way he always did with emotions. Egan watched carefully, protective of his wife and daughter. There's a rocking chair, Kate said. In the corner. If you want to sit with her. I looked at the chair. Then at Kate. Understanding passed between us. An invitation. A seat saved. A place made. I sat down. Rocked slowly. Emerald made small snuffling sounds. Mom approached. Michelle, Not now, Mom. She stopped. Nodded. Sat back down. For 10 minutes, I just rocked. The baby slept. The room stayed quiet. And for the first time in months, maybe years, I felt like I was exactly where I belonged. When I handed Emerald back, Kate said, "Thank you for coming. Thank you for the seat." She understood. The months after Emerald's birth were careful. Tentative. Like walking on ice that might crack. Kate invited me to things. Sometimes I went. Sometimes I didn't. I was learning that no was a complete sentence, and that saying it didn't make me cruel. Mom tried. In her way. She asked about Henry. Remembered my work projects. Called just to talk, not just to relay information about Kate. It felt performative at first. Like she was checking boxes, ask about Michelle. Show interest. Prove you care, But over time, it started to feel more natural. Or maybe I just stopped scrutinizing her motives so intensely. Dad remained Dad. Quiet, practical, uncomfortable with the whole thing. He showed love through actions, fixing my car without being asked, slipping me money for no reason, texting articles he thought I'd like. It wasn't an apology. But it was acknowledgement. Kate and I developed a rhythm. Coffee once a month. FaceTime calls where she showed me Emerald's latest developments. Texts that were genuine, not obligatory. Emerald smiled today, she'd send, with a video. She's getting so big, I'd reply. Simple. But real. One day, about 8 months after Emerald was born, Kate called. Can I ask you something? Sure. Do you think we'll ever be okay? Like, really okay? I thought about it. I don't know. Maybe okay looks different now. Different how? Different as in honest. Different as in I don't pretend things don't hurt, and you don't expect me to. Can you live with that? Can you? She was quiet. Then, I'm trying. Me too. It wasn't a happy ending. But it was an honest one. 2 years later, I got engaged. Henry proposed on a beach in Mendocino, no fanfare, just him and me and a question that felt inevitable and right. When I told my family, the group chat exploded. Mom, I'm so happy for you. Dad, congratulations, sweetheart. Kate, finally. Can I help plan? I stared at that last message for a long time. The old Michelle would have said yes immediately, grateful to be included. The new Michelle typed, let me think about it. I called Kate later. You can help. But I need some boundaries. Okay. This is my wedding. My vision. You can give input, but not control. I understand. And I need you to hear me when I say no. I will. Also, if there's a seating chart, I'm making it. Long pause. Then a laugh. Small, but genuine. Fair. The wedding planning was surprisingly fun. Kate was helpful without being overbearing. Mom got emotional about everything, which was annoying but endearing. Dad paid for the rehearsal dinner without making a big deal of it. When I asked Kate to be my maid of honor, she cried. Really? She asked. Really? If you want to. Of course I want to. I wasn't sure you'd ask. I wasn't sure either. But I'm trying to build something new. With you in it. I don't deserve that. Maybe not. But I want it anyway. The wedding was small. 80 people at a garden venue in Sonoma. Henry's family. My family. Friends who'd stuck around through the hard years. The seating chart was alphabetical and deliberate. Every single person had a place. Kate gave a toast at the reception. She talked about sisterhood, about growth, about learning to see each other clearly. Michelle has taught me that love isn't about being perfect, she said. It's about being honest. Even when honesty is uncomfortable. Especially then. She looked at me. I'm grateful my sister loved herself enough to demand better. And I'm grateful she let me try to be better. People clapped. I cried. Mom cried. Dad looked uncomfortable but proud. After the toast, Kate found me. Thank you for letting me be part of this. Thank you for showing up. We hugged. It felt different from the obligatory family hugs. It felt chosen. It's been 5 years since I walked out of Kate's wedding. 5 years of therapy and boundaries and hard conversations and slow rebuilding. Emerald is in kindergarten now. She calls me Aunt Shelley and asks me to paint her nails when I visit. Kate had a second daughter, Dante. Mom retired and took up pottery. Dad still doesn't talk about feelings, but he shows up. Henry and I bought a house. We host Thanksgiving sometimes. Kate and Egan come. Mom and Dad come. It's small and imperfect and honest. Last month, Kate and I were at a park with the girls. They were on the swings, shrieking with joy. Can I tell you something? Kate asked. Sure. I think about the wedding sometimes. The seating thing. Okay. I want you to know it really was an oversight. Not an excuse, just the truth. I was so overwhelmed, and I delegated the seating chart to Pearson, and she didn't know you were coming solo, and... She trailed off. But that doesn't matter. Because the oversight was possible because I didn't make you a priority. And that's on me. I watched Emerald pump her legs, trying to swing higher. Thank you for saying that. Does it help? A little. I'm sorry I can't fix it. You can't fix the past. But you're showing up now. That matters. We sat in silence, watching the girls play. I'm a better mom because of you, Kate said quietly. What do you mean? I see Emerald and Dante, and I think about how I'd feel if one of them felt the way you felt. Invisible. Secondary. And it breaks my heart. So you're treating them equally? I'm trying to see them individually. Not as one more important than the other, but as two different people who need different things. That's good, Kate. I learned it from watching you refuse to be invisible. We locked eyes. I didn't want to refuse. I wanted to belong. I know. And I'm sorry I made you choose. It wasn't absolution. But it was something. Something real and hard-won and worth keeping. If you're listening to this and something feels familiar, if you've ever been the forgotten one, the second choice, the afterthought, I need you to hear this. Your worth doesn't depend on other people seeing it. Setting boundaries doesn't make you cruel. It makes you clear. And choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's survival. My family and I aren't perfect. We probably never will be. But we're honest now. And honesty, I've learned, is the only foundation worth building on. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. Share your story if you're comfortable. And hit that subscribe button, because you deserve to hear stories about people who chose themselves and survived. You're not alone. You're not too sensitive. You're not asking for too much. You're just finally asking for enough. And that, my friends, is where everything changes.